Welcome in. We are one step closer to actual matches. My name is Jeremy Lance. I'm joined by Jose and Jason. Guys, how we feeling tonight?
I am feeling great. I am actually getting finally excited, after a few weeks because it almost seems like it was yesterday. But it was longer than that. So I'm really, really hyped for what's coming this season at a number of levels.
I'd be a lot
Jason,
better
we
if.
missed you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
We
that.
missed
I'd be
you
a lot
last week
better.
at that party.
And the thing is, I got a bone to pick with both of you. Jose, I don't know if you were even there.
Way, huh?
I showed up like literally 10 minutes after you guys finished, and it was cleared out.
Yeah.
In a cloud of dust, you left.
Really? Oh my God! I didn't even see you. Or did I? Did I say hello or something?
No, nobody was there except Justin and I think Justin. Yeah, Justin was the only guy left there.
Sorry.
Well, did you guys get to hang out? I guess?
Yeah, we got to hang out for a little bit. I bought myself a Norden hockey jersey for the year.
Those were pretty cool. I was checking those out when Papa Chris was rocking his. I was kind of digging those. Those are pretty nice.
When my wife asked how much it was, I told her not to worry about it and just kind of went on my way.
Hey, part of it was going for charity, I'm guessing, in some aspect, maybe, right?
Well, yes. There you go.
Yeah. There you go. It was for the cause.
So good cause.
For a good cause, for charity. So there you go. Then money doesn't matter in that case.
Same Vincent does a great job.
We're going to do something a little different tonight. Normally we would be, I don't know. Well, so first of all, I was a moron and thought that the Champions Cup started this week. So I was like, oh, okay, good. We have a match to talk about. No, that's next week. We'll actually have two matches to talk about when we crack the mics next Monday. So tonight what we're going to do is kind of step away from just the FC Cincinnati focus and look at the whole league and kind of give some predictions, have fun with it, wild predictions. And if you're listening live, go ahead and throw some predictions at us. We're kind of going to go through the East, through the West, MVP, Golden Boot, Coach of the Year. We'll go with, as the Brits call it, the sack race, which managers get in the can first. Race. We'll have some bold predictions, and we'll just kind of have fun with it tonight. Might end up being a shorter show. We'll see. Sometimes prediction stuff, you just kind of are reading off a list and flying through it. Other times you get lost in the weeds, and there we are. We hit that 10 o'clock mark pretty quickly. Before we do all of that, we're gonna do something new here, something a little different than what we normally do on the pod, and that is going to be what's hot, what's cold. That is brought to you by our friends at Apollo Home. Jose, I want to start with you. What is hot for you?
Well, for me, I'm excited to see what we can do on the wings this year with both Ramirez and Echenique. I think if Ramirez turns out to be the player that we're seeing in videos and people talking about, we could finally see two wingbacks finally occupying the other side on both sides versus just one side that shut us down. Then there's nothing happening. So I'm excited to see how that'll work out. As we've talked before on the show, a guy like Denke cannot be effective if he doesn't get plays in the box. So hopefully, we'll start seeing more of that. So that's kind of my hot take on this one.
All right, what's your cold? Give us your cold. What's not going well?
Really worried about the center backs.
Okay.
Essentially because we don't know what the status of Matt Miazga is. I mean, Miles is very good. Hags is good, but he's 1 year older now. I mean, we know that he's a guy that puts it all out there, but he's a little slower. You get a fast player with high technical skills, and he's left in the dust. What happens then? He starts fouling. So Hadebe, well, do we get the good Hadebe or the not so good Hadebe? Because sometimes he can be very inconsistent. Flores hasn't played a lot. So I'm really worried about it. If Matt comes back even at 80%, that back line could be really, really good this year again.
Yeah.
Jason, what do you got for us? What's hot?
My hot for the preseason so far is Kevin Denke. He has scored, I think, in every single preseason match, if my memory serves.
Yep.
Kick that got called back, if I remember correctly. So KD out there scoring goals and apparently getting looks from, even though Tom Bogert said that this is all bunk, apparently, though, getting looks from Europe. So that might be something that'll be even hotter as the summer comes around.
True.
If he has a good start to the season.
Yeah. He's also been honing his chess skills, it looks like, from social media.
Good for him. And, this is my marketing brain working because it was Hunter Green for the Reds is also apparently a chess head. So we need to get like a Cincinnati charity chess game between Hunter Green and Kevin Denke.
Yeah. Or you can get Votto. Votto's a big chess guy.
Yeah.
Votto would randomly roll into I read an article where one offseason he would just randomly enter into these like small chess competitions around Toronto and just kind of roll in there and like just being unassuming. And he was still kind of newer to the game, so he was playing kind of at like a lower level. So maybe get him. Maybe get him.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to kind of build the camaraderie about Cincinnati sports. We just saw the Seahawks win the World Series, the Super Bowl. And my wife was asking what their colors were, and I pointed out to her that all the Seattle teams kind of have a variation on the same colors. And here in Cincinnati, we don't do that. So we need more like synergy between our teams a little bit.
No, we can't have it. What's cold?
My cold is Vancouver, and not just because it's winter in Vancouver, but if you've been following, we might get into this later, I don't know, but if you've been following what's going on there in British Columbia, the stadium situation is way up in the air. They're having trouble. They're having trouble with BC Place. There's some back and forth on that. The current owners of the Whitecaps want to sell. They have said they can't find buyers, which is odd because Sporting Kansas City just sold for $700 million. So that's a little weird. And here in the United States, it's not unusual for teams to relocate. I'm not saying I want to see that, but I always had Montreal as my biggest flight risk, but it looks like some not so great things are happening in Vancouver, and it stinks because they're coming off their best season in club history. So
it was the craziest part about all of that is like that news really first popped like literally the last 24 hours before the MLS Cup that they were in. And it was supposed to be this great weekend for them. And ended up, kind of being shadowed by, A, they lost. And then B, going into it, it's, it sounds like they might not even exist in Vancouver much longer.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. So, I mean, if things go the wrong way, say hello to the Indianapolis Whitecaps, I guess.
It's going to be fun. My hot is the fact that I did not have to make that first MLS Apple TV payment because that's all included now. You don't have to have the separate subscription on top of Apple TV. It's all included in your Apple Plus or Apple TV if you have it, which you should have it. There's good shows on there. Shrinking season 3 just started.
I just watched the first episode of season 3 right before I got on.
I'm an episode behind. I need to get on that. Just not having to pay that extra bit. Now, obviously, if you're a season ticket holder, that's a moot point because that was thrown in as a bonus anyways with your season tickets.
Yeah.
But for the rest of us lay people, we did have to pay that fee.
Yeah, I know.
Pay that fee.
Yep.
But hey, I guess most of us can now then transfer what would have been our MLS TV money over to our Reds MLB TV money because that's
Yeah.
that's where that is now. So we got
be
out of
making that
paying for
payment,
one
yeah.
team this summer, and we're gonna have to pay to watch the other one now. What's cold for me? So there has been a I don't know, a rendering, a mock-up of a possible new kit for FC Cincinnati that has been floating around the internet. And look, everyone has their opinions. Is this looks dumb? This looks great. Is it trying to be this? Is it that? Is it too bland? Is it just a stock jersey from Adidas? Because that's what Adidas does. My biggest gripe is like it was a white kit, which means are we saying goodbye to the canvas kit, which has kind of become one of my favorite FC Cincinnati kits, was that canvas one. And to see that that's possibly now gone, if this new one's coming in this season, that's a bummer. I love that one, and we may have seen that thing on the field for the last time.
I would hope that FC Cincinnati can earn themselves a third kit this year. Of all the MLS teams, you'd think FCC would be the one that you could get.
You would think, yeah.
Our boy Jeff Tebbets has chimed in with his. He went a little Jason Alexander here with the McDLT, hot side hot, cold side cold. His hot. The goalkeeper union sounds like they are already. I'm gonna say that's mid-season form he meant to type there. Also the main season, that is good. And obviously we've brought in a lone kid from Liverpool. We'll see who ends up being the true number 2. Is it him? Is it Leroux? Who ends up having that number 2 spot? His cold. Anyone else want to score a goal for us? And you know what that is? That is an issue, right? Like this is a team that struggled to score. And so far this preseason, we've not scored a whole bunch, and it's so far really been one guy.
Yep.
You'd think they would have been able to score more.
Which isn't bad. I mean, it is KD. I mean, KD was brought in to score goals, but still, I mean.
Sure. And we're also talking about preseason matches where, like, the second half, they, like, roll out the trialists and, like, the FC Cincinnati 2 guys. So it's kind of, again, we're just going off what we're told.
Yeah,
we don't know anything that's really happening in preseason. We have no ideas. Carter Chapley is doing his great job for the club on the site, writing up match reports. He's literally the only eyes there. Outside of that, we're kind of in the dark of how preseason's actually gone. Pat Noonan is.
It still makes no sense to me that they don't.
Why?
I mean, I get everybody's trying to guard their secrets, but
guard what?
Does it?
Like
NFL does it? Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on, guys. Everybody's in the same boat. I mean, really?
I mean, I don't get it. I made this joke before we went on air, but we do have unnamed trialists who, may or may not be fully getting their work visa paperwork done. And in our current political climate, I think it might be best not to run afoul of any sort of possible immigration.
Possibly. But also, if you want to be a big boy league, you got to do big boy things like, I don't know, turning a camera on in front of a preseason match every once in a while. Like, why is that not a thing?
That's what I don't understand, Jeremy, because like MLB deals with the same thing. They're bringing in people from all over the world in spring training to come in. NHL maybe a little bit as well. They're bringing in people from all over the world, and they're able to show preseason games. I don't know what it is about MLS that they can't.
I think at the end, it's a bottom line thing. It's a money thing.
Yeah.
Do you want to spend money on preseason production? Let's be honest, especially the way these matches are normally built. You're playing on a training pitch somewhere in Florida at 1 p.m. on a weekday.
Yeah, true.
So we're gonna roll out the cameras and the crew and hire a crew and get all the stuff going for 900 people to watch on their laptop at work. Like I get the overall thing of like it's not it's not exactly efficient. And honestly, to be fair, we're seeing this in baseball right now. There's a lot of MLB teams, even those that are kind of your bigger ones that have the money to spend, televising less spring training games this year. And it's been a slow progression over the past couple of years that they're doing less and less for television because it's a money thing. Like everything here right now, there's costs that have to be cut everywhere. So I don't see that being an added cost anytime soon. But still, like, what? Give us something.
Give us something.
That's what's hot, what's cold from our friends at Apollo Home. The weather might be starting to warm up, allegedly, but hey, it's still winter in Cincinnati. If your furnace hasn't been checked yet, now's the time. Apollo Home is still offering CST listeners a furnace tune-up for just $29, so you can stay comfortable and avoid surprise breakdowns. This is not the time to have
not
that.
a good idea.
Stay hot when it's cold with Apollo Home. Give them a call or hit them up at apollohome.com. Let's get into our East and West predictions. We'll kind of go really just kind of give our who's going to make the playoffs, who's our dark horse candidate, and then outside of that, like, who's that one team that is literally going to be hot garbage, just an absolute dumpster fire, rats fleeing the ship. Like, what is going to be that absolutely steaming pile of a team sitting there at the bottom of the table? We will start out east. Okay, does anybody on the pod right now have anyone besides Miami with the 1 seed?
I could make an argument for both FC. I could make an argument for both FC Cincinnati.
You have
not a strong one, but I could make one. And I can make an argument. This is my dark horse too. I can make an argument for Nashville because I really liked how BJ Callahan handled that team last year. They brought in some good talent in the offseason. They bolstered their attack, and then they kind of offloaded a little bit of money with Walker Zimmerman. They are no longer taking up a DP spot. So they could have some money to play with in the summer when you're really ready to make that stretch run. Miami, I think, is the easy one, but I think too, FC Cincinnati, let's just be perfectly honest here, despite all their faults, were 2 points off of the Supporters Shield last year?
Yeah. For as bad as they were at points, they were still right there.
Yeah. So improve by 3 points this year, and you've put yourself in a position to win the Eastern Conference. And all that is find a way to maybe feed Kevin Denke the ball, get him 20 goals instead of 16, get, Ender some extra goals here or there. Like there's Miami's going to be very, very good, but I am not ready to crown them in a league like MLS where just anything can happen in here.
Yeah. No, neither am I, actually. No.
Jose, why don't you give us the rest of those home playoff spots there, that 2, 3, and 4?
Well, first, let me say, when I was thinking about dark horse, I approached this differently. I'll get back to your question, but I was thinking about this differently. Man. What team is going to surprise us? Say, wow, we didn't see that coming. And to me, it's DC United, because they got Ty Barriwa now. And they got this kid that I don't know anything about. I was just reading about him earlier today, Richie Amon, super draft midfielder who's getting a lot of attention, a lot of a good press. I said, well, if they can get this kid up to speed, if he starts making an impact, they got Ty Barriwa too. DC United could be one of those teams that they're not going to win it, but I think could make a good run and say, wow, we never saw these guys coming, with the dumpster fire they've been. So that's,
I would say making the playoffs makes them a dark horse right there.
Yeah. So that's how I approach dark horse. Now, in terms of 1, 2, and 3, I'm not ready to put Miami there. And we'll talk a little bit more, but I'll give you kind of a preview because they have a lot of players that will probably be called up to their national teams.
Good point.
Sure.
So you got a little bit of the fatigue factor, maybe. But, Mascherano might decide, well, I'm going to rest my guys because I know they're going to be called up. So, so because of that, I don't think they're going to be number one, but I think they're going to be in the top 4. And we'll get to that later, by the way. I think number one, I think Nashville has a chance, but I think FCC too. So I think Nashville, FCC, and I said this on the pod at Grainworks, and I think Philadelphia. I know they've gotten a lot of turnover, but last year nobody gave them a chance, and they wound up winning the Supporter Shield. So I think those 3. Not putting Miami there because I think, and I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself again, I think they're going to have a lot of players resting because they're going to be called up to their national teams. Now, in terms of a sinking ship, I think it's New England.
Ooh,
okay, yeah,
that's a good one.
I didn't see any major improvements from them in the offseason. And maybe that changes. I don't know. Maybe again they become a Philadelphia, right? But I just don't see. I think they're going to keep sinking. So that's kind of on the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I mean, and to keep the sinking ship metaphor, some may say they've been taking on water for quite some time.
Yeah, exactly.
But didn't New England finish? Didn't New England finish the season pretty strong though? Once they got rid of Caleb Porter, I feel.
Yeah, which
I don't want to look it
what
up.
happens when you do that.
Yeah, true. But I feel like with all due respect to Jose, I do not think we're going to see much out of DC United this year, at whatsoever. I think them, Montreal. Those 2 are going to be fighting neck and neck for the support for the wooden spoon this year. I think those 2 teams are just something's in the water down in DC for several years now, and they just haven't been able to get it going. And Montreal has, yeah, and I think Montreal has an ownership group that just couldn't care less. I think those are going to be
and that's why they're my sinking ship, because that is a organization that is just kind of not really interested in competing anymore. So I have them as my sinking ship. I feel like, so Jose, I think we have the same top 4, Miami, Philly, Cincy, Nashville. I have them in a slightly different order.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're kind of in agreement on that. Jason, do you have a different team than those 4 in your top?
Okay. I've got the same top 3, Miami, Nashville, Cincinnati. I'm going to kick Philly out of my top 4. I think Philly, I think second-year Bradley Carnell is going to be a thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think
seen that once.
Yeah, it did not continue to go well for him at St. Louis. It might work well at it for a young team like Philly that relies a lot on like youngsters from the academy. I think Orlando is going to be up there in the top 4 this year.
Okay.
I think they should be pretty solid this year. They've got the coaching. They've added some talent in the offseason.
Yeah.
I just think once they figure it out, Orlando should have been better last year, in my opinion. I was surprised.
Yeah, they should have. Yeah.
They dipped last year. But I think they're going to be a surprisingly tough team this year. And then I if I were to have a dark horse, we talked about it off air. I think Chicago is going to be a surprisingly good team this year too.
So. Okay. Yeah, so my dark horse is Orlando. I have them finishing 5th. You're right. They've added some decent pieces. They do what they often do. They go to South America. They brought in some Brazilian flavor this year. I think that could work really well for them. They're an organization that has remained competitive consistently. So I think they're always going to be there, and they're always going to be looking for that move maybe in season if they need to make it. They're not going to just sit on their hands if things aren't working right away. So I could definitely, I definitely think they're going to have a good one. So I have them at 5th. That's my dark horse. The other one I know that a lot of people have been putting out there as dark horse, or at least a team that they think is going to have a big improvement, is Charlotte. I feel like a lot of people have said Charlotte's going to improve. They've made some decent signings. I think I'm there. I have them I have them finishing 7th. I think they're going to be a much improved team. I don't know about a wholly massively improved team. My other teams real quickly, I do think DC United gets in. I think that they pull it off. I think getting into the playoffs is a massive win right there, just for them to do that. And I know they've made a lot of moves, and I think, and we'll see if any of you guys have them higher. I have them just making the playoffs, but I think Toronto, for as bad as they've been lately, I think they've done enough smart moves. They brought in enough decent pieces. Walker Zimmerman being one of them. I think they get in the playoffs, and then who knows what happens.
Oh yeah, 100% agree on that one.
Mm-hmm.
We got a comment here. FC Bittlinger, we dropped points that we should have claimed last year, and Atlanta gave up 2 points late in the game in Miami and a phantom offside call. So 100%.
Yeah, it was close. It was closer, and there was
3-1 losses or something like that in a row at TQL.
Yeah.
It's like 9 points there lost.
Any other big thoughts on the East before we head out west?
I think people, Jeremy, I agree with you 100% on Toronto. If they can get the Josh Sargent thing done,
that's kind of the other big shoe to fall there.
Yeah, and I think they will eventually, and I think he will thrive in Toronto. I'm with you 100% on them. I think people are sleeping on Atlanta too.
Yeah, I have them in the playoffs.
In the playoffs, yes.
Okay, here's the question though. There's a name I've yet to hear. There's a city. I went and watched a hockey game there last week. Is that appearing on anyone's playoff list?
Which you cut off? Which city was that?
I'm so though that one 90 minutes up the road.
Oh, the one 90 minutes up the road. The one
those guys
whose hockey team I actively root for.
Yeah, I watched them.
I think they get in the playoffs.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to do much. And I'm hoping this is a year that we also, beat those guys twice.
I think they make the playoffs. I think, but they will have, I think, a kind of a hiccup of a year with the new coach coming in. Mm-hmm. There's some guys that I think want to get out of Columbus. They haven't really made any moves to improve.
No,
right.
Too much. So,
listen, they had a solid regular season last year. Got into the playoffs. I mean, they weren't that high up. I think they take a relatively modest step backwards, and I think the East is just too competitive for that to mean you're definitely getting in.
Did is his name Abu Ali, the Palestinian guy that plays for them? Because is he still with them? I know he got injured towards the end of the season.
Well, he was one of the many guys that it was rumored that Nancy was going to bring with him, but
so
that required having the job longer than 2 weeks. So
exactly.
None of that happened.
Yeah. I think if he comes back healthy, he's going to really help them out a lot. But I think they make the playoffs, but I don't see them being in contention for the top of the East really at all.
No, not this year.
All right, let's head out west. Is there a surefire number one out there in the West, or do you think it's pretty wide open?
I think it's wide open. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry. I'll say LAFC. I think if Denny Buwanga quits playing around and doing cryptic tweets and Instagram posts and stuff like that and stays with them the whole season, so that's a big if. I have LAFC as a contender for a supporter shield. If the West is not very good, so they can rack up a lot of points. Son Heung-min is a world-class player. He came in and showed that last year. Him and Denny Buwanga, if they had the entire season together, the amount of accolades they would have racked up last year would have been insane. So
exactly right. Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone in the West. Maybe Seattle could give them a run for their money, but I think LAFC can run roughshod over the Western Conference.
Yeah, no, I'm on the same wavelength with you there. I got LAFC is the clear number one, and I think Seattle's going to be kind of that one team that's going to be that trailing pack that's going to be right behind them in the second seed. Vancouver was the representative of the West for MLS Cup. Jose, where do you see Vancouver finishing this season?
I think they're going to finish in third, and here's why. I mean, I agree. LAFC is probably going to be at the top. I mean, if those two start clicking, they're going to be an awesome scoring machine. I'm talking about LAFC. I think right underneath them, my personal opinion, is that San Diego is still going to be there. I think
Okay.
last year was not necessarily a fluke. Now, yes, I did say sometime last year we'll see about San Diego because usually, teams that do really well their first year then don't necessarily do. But I think in their case, they have a really solid core there.
Yeah.
So I do see them finishing number 2, maybe number 3 at most. Vancouver is going to be right there. And then actually, I have Minnesota.
Okay.
I think Seattle has done some great moves. And yes, they had a strong season too. But I think Minnesota it's not necessarily a dark horse, but I think they're going to be one of those that are going to surprise people.
I think Minnesota's going to have.
They got James Rodriguez coming in. I think Jose, we have like the same top 4.
And they didn't they get Drake Callender as well?
Yeah, they did.
And they had a strong back line last year. So I combine all of that and say, these guys are going to be in the top 4. Maybe Minnesota sneaks into the 3rd place. But yeah, LAFC at the top, San Diego, Vancouver, Minnesota. But 2, 3, and 4, they could fight it out.
Yeah. If San Diego
Jason,
plays the way well, like I said, I've got LAFC number 1, Seattle number 2, just out of respect for what they've built there in Seattle. I do like Jose's shout for San Diego. And if you watch that CONCACAF Champions Cup match they played the other day, who was it again? It was against Tigres, wasn't it?
Was it against Tigres?
It was against a Mexican team. I remember that. I have a cold, so my brain is completely fried.
But it was not against Tigres. It was against their rivals, Pumas.
Pumas.
Yeah. Well, those guys.
I knew it was one of the university teams.
Yeah.
in Mexico.
I suck, but still, nothing to take away from San Diego.
They blew them out, and they're doing it all without Chucky, and they're playing well. So I like your shout for San Diego. So my top 3: LAFC, Seattle, San Diego. For the West, for 4th is really tough. I think I would put Minnesota 4th. I think Austin FC is going to surprise a lot of people this year. If Brandon Vasquez comes back healthy, they've got a good core there in Austin. The West is not very difficult. They could really make some hay and find themselves in a fight for one of those bye games in the playoffs. I'm really excited to see what's happening down in Austin.
All right, who's sinking? Who's just absolutely falling apart?
San Jose.
Okay.
San Jose. I mean, they've been sinking anyway, and I didn't see them make any major roster moves unless I missed something.
They brought in Timo Werner, which may be a really good move or a complete waste of money.
Yeah.
One of that spoiler to a possible bold prediction of mine coming up later in the show.
Schrodinger's Timo.
Yeah.
My singing ship is St. Louis. I don't think they know what they're doing.
Okay.
They had a great first season, and it's been a slow downhill spiral.
They have been, they have been deteriorating.
And I Johan Demay's first year coach taking over. This is kind of his first time as the permanent manager anywhere. I wish him well, but I don't feel like he's even got like the pieces to put something good together. Like they're not really making big moves. I don't feel like they had the pieces correct last year, and they've not done much to fix that. I could see this team, and they've blown out their sporting director. Like they just seem a bit lost. Everything went too well season 1, and now it's kind of all they've kind of come back down to earth, and they don't know what they're doing.
It pains me to say this, as you can see by the license plate behind me with the RSL logo on it.
Oh boy!
And the several Utah-related scarves back there. My sinking ship is RSL, and the way I'm looking at this is not a team that you expect to be bad, but a team that should be better, but is just not doing what they need to do to maybe move to the next level. And RSL, I don't think they're going to hold on to Diego Luna very long. As soon as someone comes up with a big contract, he's gone. Yeah.
Oh, if he, and this, he could be one of those guys that has a decent World Cup and Europe's on the other line, right?
100%. 100%. they rely very heavily on people you've never heard from like Peru and stuff like that. Nothing, not knocking Peru. Been a lot of great Peruvian players there, but they're not a team that I really see putting forth the kind of effort and ambition as that you need in order to be competitive in Major League Soccer. And so I think they're going to be in for a rough year. I think they're going to miss the playoffs, and it's going to be a very disappointing year out in Utah.
Well, I actually had them as one of my dark horses here.
Really?
Oh wow!
And the reason is, if the date out there is accurate, is that they acquired a couple of players, one from League One in France, another one from the from Czech League as well, and by all accounts, these are pretty good players. Now Mark Zook returned. Yeah, he didn't impress here, but maybe within that system, I know we got him on loan from those guys. Maybe in that system, he
can go there and not play and sit behind Lucas Engel as well.
Well, there's that. Yes, there's that too. So I have as a dark horse to get into the playoffs because of those acquisitions. Now, beyond that, I would see them being, if they get into the playoffs, being knocked out in the first round. But as my dark horse, and again, my dark horse was, okay, who do we think that is going to get in there? That's the reason I put them there.
That's a good shout, and I agree with you. They've made some moves, but it maybe it's because I follow them more than every other person in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Kind of like me with FC Cincinnati. Yeah, they got those Spurs. Yeah, but those 1-goal wins.
yeah. I don't see them having what they need to really make a dent in the Western Conference. But I like your optimism, Jose.
No, just based on what I read.
Thoughts on the West?
No.
I will say the Supporter Shield winner comes out of the West this year. I think
I would tend to agree with that.
Yeah, I think the East is going to beat itself up. Something awful.
Yes, I think the East is way more competitive. I think that's. Did you give your dark horse? You gave your dark horse, right, Jason?
Oh, did I give a dark horse?
I don't know.
Sure. If we're doing dark horse as a team that like overachieves, I'm gonna say. Well, I said Austin was probably my dark horse.
Yeah, that's right. You and I both had Austin.
You did.
All right. Yeah.
We're good. Kansas City, I think, is going to be a little bit improved too this year. I don't think they're going to be as bad as they were last year.
They're a big question mark for me. I don't know. I feel like it could really go wildly in either direction.
Yeah.
Beyond Exercise is a Cincinnati physical therapy and fitness business that helps people of all ages stay active and fit. They also work with local MLS and MLS Next athletes, and they're the official physical therapy provider of the Manu Ledesma Academy UPSL team. See how they can elevate your health and fitness at gobeyondexercise.com. That hurts to hear Manu Ledesma's name because that was the guy I wanted to hang out with the most last weekend, and he got sick right beforehand and didn't make it. Let's go to the awards. Let's go to the superlatives. MVP is what is it? The Landon Donovan Most Valuable Player Award, I think it's called.
I think so. Yeah.
Who do we have? Who do we have here? Just someone to shout one out.
Well, I'm thinking of Mukhtar from Nashville, and I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why I wouldn't put Messi in there because that's everybody's. Oh, Messi.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to rest him a lot because they have a heavy schedule. Well, FCC does too. He's going to be in the Argentine team, even though he's going to be in the Argentine team for the World Cup. So I'm sure there's a part of Mascherano that says, well, really don't want to have this guy hurt. So because of that, he may not have enough opportunities like it did last year to make as big of an impact. And they have enough players out there to cover him anyway. So to me, that's why I'm putting Mukhtar there as the MVP.
And he also has like a more I feel like he has a really good striker now in front of him.
Yes.
That can kind of be that guy to finish things off a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Sonny. I think him and Sung is he had, and I'll go ahead and say it. He's also my Golden Boot winner because this guy, he played only 13 matches last year. He had 12 goals. He almost had a goal a game. He was on a tear. A full season of that.
Yeah,
I think it could be.
Point.
He could really run away with things.
Yeah. Seconded on Sonny. I think just seeing how he came into the league like a house of fire, it was crazy. Mm-hmm. Did not expect. I mean, I knew he was world class, but I did not expect him to have that big of an impact right out of the gate, coming off of an injury. So yeah, I'm with Jeremy. He's my MVP pick for this year.
I was between him and Mukhtar, by the way, for MVP. But
okay.
I went with Mukhtar more than anything because I felt, well, maybe Son is going to be called up to his team, maybe friendlies, have a little bit less of the same rationale as with Messi.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I got Son, as I said, as also my Golden Boot winner. What about you guys?
I'm just going to go with the home team, and provided he gets fed, I'm going to go Kevin Denke, Golden Boot. Let's do it.
I want it. I'll take it.
I want it so bad. The man scored 16 goals last season without getting any service whatsoever.
Yeah.
He scored one penalty kick, maybe two on the season. Like, we only had like 2 PKs all year. They can figure out that it is okay to pass the ball within the 18-yard box. He could win it, and this is hope for me, but I'm gonna go Kevin Denke for Golden Boot this year.
Okay.
Jose?
Bouanga. Because I think between him and Son, they could feed off of each other. I mean, it could be a race between the two of them if they really start clicking, and I think they will.
Could be like it could be like a decade ago. The Suarez and Sturridge in the EPL, where they scored like 52 goals between the two of them.
I know, yeah.
It could be Son and Kane, but in LAFC.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. There you go. Yep. Coach of the year. I've filled out my whole bracket the same way. Listen, if LAFC wins the Supporter Shield, Marc Dos Santos is a first-year head coach. They're gonna give it to him.
Yeah,
like if you win, 100%. If you win the Supporter Shield your first season,
it
doesn't matter if you have an all-star team. You're gonna get it.
Yeah, I agree that he would get it if they win the Supporter Shield. I also think so. Yes, I agree, but just for the sake of argument, I'm gonna say Greg Berhalter wins it because I think like I said, Chicago I think is in for a much better year this year. I really liked what I saw from them last year. And if he can get them into contention for like top, 5 or 6 in the Supporter Shield rankings, then I think you would at least have to give him a really hard look for Coach of the Year.
Jose?
I went with, I probably will massacre his name, Jesper Sorensen from Vancouver.
Okay.
Mainly because I think if Vancouver finishes strong and they finish better and maybe even get some silverware in the process, they could look at this guy and say, hey, this guy, he's making a big impact. But I also agree with your other choices, by the way. So this one, again, was more like, where's the wind blowing to? Okay, I'm going to pick Sorensen.
He should have won it last year.
He should have. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he definitely should have. All right, let's go with my favorite award. Who's getting the pink slip first? Who's getting the swift kick out the door? Who is getting sacked in the morning? Who's getting sacked in the morning? Who will win the sack race in MLS?
That one's tough. MLS doesn't turn people over so much.
If DC United doesn't, make the playoffs, because they're my dark horse, I remember this, then I think it's going to be, his name is Rene Wheeler or something like that. DC United. Is that the guy? Did I pronounce that correctly?
I don't know. It sounds like we don't need to worry about learning his name because he ain't going to be around,
right? So it sounds contradictory because I have DC United as a dark horse, but if they don't make it,
doesn't work out.
Then he'll probably be, because DC United is also a bit of a dumpster fire organization, by the way. Not as much as Montreal, but.
Are we doing this first coach to get fired or just who gets fired?
First coach. I would imagine more than one gets fired throughout the course of the season.
Yeah.
First coach.
I will say, back to my RSL thing, if RSL has a very slow start, I think Pablo Mastroianni does not last until the summer break. So he would be my. I hope it doesn't happen, but I think he is someone you got to look at in the sack race.
I'm going to go Pascal Janssen at NYCFC. I think that's a team that has high expectation, an ownership that expects certain things, and I don't think they have the skills to pull it off this year. So I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be having a nightmare of a season and could be gone.
Do you think that with NYCFC opening the new stadium next year in 2027, I've got it in my mind that they're going to be the next quote unquote super club, that at that point the City Football Group will like really pay attention to it. I could see them switching coaches and bringing in somebody really good for that transition into the new stadium. I like your shout out there.
Could be a nice soft landing spot for one Pep Guardiola.
Okay, New York's not a bad place to live.
Dude, he spends actually a lot of time in New York. He spends a lot of his off season in New York City. So
yeah, and he hasn't
very easily
fully committed to City, Manchester City. It's like,
yeah,
I think the guy's just burned out right now.
He's playing it by ear. All right, let's get real wild. Let's get weird. Predictions. Let's say stupid stuff into a microphone. Here we go. Who wants to start us out with their first bold prediction?
I think Minnesota United wins a trophy of some sort because they're going to have James Rodriguez. They have Drake Callender. They had a strong back line, as I said before. So even though they may not win the Supporters Shield per se, but I see these guys a possibility of winning one of the other three. A lot of people are probably not giving them any chance, but whether it's CONCACAF, whether it's Leagues Cup, whether it's the actual MLS Cup. I mean, we've seen this before, right? Teams all of a sudden go on a tear at the end, like those guys up northeast did in 2023. So that's kind of one. The other one is Miami's doesn't finish in the top three. It's not really that bold because again, I go back to they're probably going to rest players as the World Cup approaches, and I'm not saying this happens, right? But Mascherano could get some pressure from the powers that be and wherever it is, Argentina, you're like, hey, maybe you should rest your guy. We're going to call him up, or we need him for a friendly or whatever you want. So that doesn't mean they won't win trophies, by the way. I still think they are very, very probable to win at least one trophy, but I don't see them finishing in the top three. I will throw one other one out. If FCC doesn't win any silverware, like zero, nada, and doesn't finish in the top three, I think at the end of the season, Pat Noonan is gone.
You know what? I didn't write that down, but I did debate that. There is a feel. I don't know if anyone else is getting this. There is a feel that this is. It's got to happen, right? Like you only get so many shots as a head coach to, if you're given all the pieces, which you could debate if he's been given all the pieces or not, but obviously the results have largely been there.
Yeah.
But that final result, the winning the big match, the getting to a final, our most successful season included us cratering late in back-to-back semifinals.
Yeah.
You don't get to do that forever.
No.
So I do feel like there is a bit of a clock ticking on the current regime.
Yeah, with you there.
Jason, give me something crazy. Give me something bold.
My bold predictions is that I've got several like Jose. My first is that an MLS team will not win those side tournaments this year. So a Liga MX team will win the Leagues Cup. And I'm predicting that this is the year that finally a USL championship team wins the US Open Cup. I think.
Oh, wow. Do you have someone you have in mind? Is there a team you have in mind? Is there?
I don't have anyone in mind as of yet, but I think now that they've gone to the new format where it's all the MLS teams that didn't make the Leagues Cup,
right,
now make the Open Cup, you've kind of lowered the expectations.
Yeah, you're getting the bottom half of the MLS possibly going up against the top echelon of USL.
Yeah, I mean, I would I would like to see, Phoenix or Sacramento or some team like that make a run at it. But I think a USL team wins the Open Cup this year, and a Liga MX team wins the Leagues Cup. That's my first big bold prediction. My second,
Love it.
yeah, my second bold prediction is that even though we're predicting LAFC to be like really good and win the Supporters Shield, that the MLS Cup representative from the West will be one of those teams that had to play in the first round in the best of three. So
Okay.
not a bold prediction because it's happened quite a bit so far, but one of those teams that's like 3, 4, 5. I think if you're going to be a betting person once the playoffs come around, put your money down on one of those, because I think the way the playoffs are set up for some reason does not always benefit the number 1 seed. And so yeah, I think those are my 2, 3 big bold predictions.
I mean, we've seen it how many times. It's really, it doesn't matter where you finish it, as long as you're in the playoffs, and if you're healthy and hitting a good stride at the right time.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all you need, man.
Yeah.
Bold ones from me. I think one thing we might see is, you've noticed one of the things that has been slowly bubbling up is a bit of a pulling back and a cratering of the Saudi just cash spend craziness. Be it Live Golf, be it Newcastle, be it the Saudi League. You can see the money machine, the money guns are not doing what they've been doing. And I think also within that, we've already seen there are big name players that have gone over to Saudi, and they're it's not been what they wanted. And as while the money was good, at the end of the day, these are competitive guys that want to be playing better soccer somewhere else in a country that they can actually, I don't know, have a beer afterwards. I could see the Saudi, so the Saudi exodus will continue, and I could see MLS actually being a benefactor of that. Yeah. Especially you got some of those guys that are a little older, so maybe it's not going to be some of the bigger clubs in Europe calling, but if a team, if a Miami and New York, somebody,
LAFC,
Galaxy, someone like that is available, it could be a decent landing spot for some of these guys
That's a great
probably
point.
Look to move out of there. And one of the other ones I have is Timo Werner has been, at least this offseason, kind of the biggest name from Europe to come over. I think this is gonna be, you have the ones where they come over and it works out great and they fall in love with the team and they really buy in, and then you have like a Pirlo or some of those other ones where they don't are looking for the exit very quickly. I think the Timo experiment doesn't go well. I think he doesn't play particularly well. It obviously then doesn't help his standing in world soccer. He will spend then part of the summer sitting in San Jose watching all of his fellow German players play in a World Cup that he's not invited to. And he will go, maybe this ain't the move. Maybe this ain't it. And he might be one of those guys that's literally comes in in January and by August is looking to leave. So that's, and I think he will just also just not be that good. So that's my bold prediction. Final thoughts, gentlemen.
Ready for the season to start. Yeah, I'm just ready for the season to start. When it ended, I was kind of like, this season needs to end. I'm just tired. I'm just over it. But guys, I went to the Norden kickoff event last week. I spent money on raffle tickets. I bought that jersey, and that kind of always gets me pumped up. And so February 21st, I will be, I'll be bundled up, ready to go on February 21st. I'm ready to get this thing going.
I'm kind of feeling the same way. I mean, I'm excited for the season to start. I'm excited for CONCACAF. I don't care for Leagues Cup. I've said this before. I really don't care about that dumb tournament. Excited to see how the season plays out after this big summer break because of the World Cup, and excited for the World Cup as well. I mean, despite all the issues around pricing and whatnot, I'm really looking forward to it. And by the way, guys, I'm actually going to be rooting for the U.S. first, Mexico second, because Mexico just absolutely sucks. I am tired of them giving us hope every 4 years, and every 4 years it's the same or worse disappointment. I'm done with you guys. You've had a chance. You blew it. You've become mediocre. I'm going with the U.S.
So now you can like expect disappointment with the U.S. You don't have
I don't
to.
know.
Like,
I don't know about that. I think the U.S. is actually going to surprise people. Mexico, no, we're like, yeah, no, we know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Listen, next week we have not one, we got 2 matches to preview next Monday on the show. Going to be exciting. We are finally looking at actual matches on the horizon. This team, ready to go or not, will be taking the field in just 10 days. I'm super excited for it. Should be a good one. We hope you hang around with us each week. We'll be here. We got Jersey Swap. They actually got a special episode out this week. They'll start their normal thing next week. They Jeff sat down with some of the old heads, the OGs of Cincinnati Soccer Talk, and kind of just reminisce. So that's super cool. Go check that out. That's it for us. We will see you next week. The season starts then. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Right.